Welcome to
Green Wave Radio. Your episode starts now.
Hello, my name is Bolger, and you're listening to Green Wave Radio. Today we are talking to Delbarton Headmaster Father Michael. Father Michael, how are you doing today?
I'm great, Pierce. How are you?
I'm great, thank you.
Excellent.
So today's going to be kind of like a year-long review. Although we're not done with the school year yet, obviously pretty late into the year, and a lot has happened this year. So yeah, we'll get right into it.
Okay.
So one thing I want to ask you, kind of a broader question. What are some of, your kind of like biggest highlights or accomplishments for the school this year?
So I think overall, it's been a really, really strong year in all areas of school life. Mm-hmm. One of the things I do as the headmaster is we do these alumni events all over the country, and I have to give a short state of the school report. Yeah. And by the springtime, when we went to Florida in March, then we were in Washington last week, I said to the groups that were there, you probably think I'm a broken record because every time I come to see you, I say, things at Delbarton are great. But it's really true. So I just use like two good examples. So admissions is always a great indicator of how strong you are because it measures how much people want to be a part of you.
Yeah.
So last year, for the 9th grade, we had 347 applications, which is a lot. We only take 138 kids out of that mix. Mm-hmm. This year, because you have to leave room for the 8th graders and the kids that don't come, this year we had 371 kids apply for 9th grade. So for every student we accepted in the 9th grade, we rejected 2 other kids. Mm-hmm. And these were not like bad kids. They were just, for whatever reason, the particular mix of kids that we wanted didn't include those others. Mm-hmm. And to me, that's the greatest tribute to what we do every day, that people really, really want to be a part of the school community. And in the fall, especially when all these like open house and the other admissions things are happening, you get that sense from people. People will kind of grab my arm and like, what do I need to do to get my son into Delbarton? I say, well, work hard in school, be a good person, show that you want to be a contributor to the community. That's kind of the standard answer that I give. But the kind of people who apply here, who want to come here, are just remarkable. And when we assemble this group of students, and you have the 8th graders coming up, and then you have the new students, we tell them when they first come, at Accepted Students Day, like, we picked you for a reason. Like, there's a mix of talents and abilities and personalities that make Delbarton the special place that it is. So the fact that we have that, it's a problem, but it's a good problem.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so kind of harping off that a little bit, obviously everyone knows about the sports here at Delbarton, but something that I was really made more aware of the other day at our morning meetings was like the robotics, the forensics, and the debate team and how successful they've been this year. And I thought that was really cool.
So it was important to me, unfortunately I wasn't here because I was coming back from Washington, but it was important for me that at least once, and hopefully once each semester next year, we have a morning meeting dedicated to recognizing the academic achievements of our students. So before I became the headmaster, I was the head of the Forensic Society for 8 years. And I've been involved in speech and debate since I was in high school back in the 80s. So that's an activity that's very important to me personally. And to see the team thrive, to see our top public forum debate team, for example, Ramir Patel and Zeke Ehrenberg, to be recognized as the top team in the country this coming weekend is really remarkable. We've never had an honor like that before. And the kids who do speech, forensics is like track and field. There's a cluster of events that are for speakers, and there's a cluster of events that are around debate. And there are dozens of kids that do this, and it's their major activity, it's their thing. Yeah. And I think it's just an indicator of there is literally something here for everybody. And definitely. Same thing with music. We've seen the previews of the concerts for the entire student body, the theatrical productions, the fall drama, especially the spring musical or the winter musical. We have kids here with remarkable talent, and everyone can very easily get distracted by their thing, whether it's lacrosse or football or even things outside of school, but we provide those opportunities for us to see what the full range of things that people do is, so that people can say not only, wow, appreciate it, but hey, maybe that's something I'd like to try. Kind of broaden my horizons.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I think coming into Delbarton, like as a 7th grader, I kind of only like recognized myself as a lacrosse player, and I never would have thought like I'd be doing something like this today, which is I think is like a really cool thing about Delbarton is I'm sitting here interviewing the headmaster of our school, and I would just like for any new students listening or new parents to new students, like I would definitely encourage you or to encourage your child to just, you know, venture out, try something new, because you never know what can happen with that. So yeah.
Yeah, this is a great example, and you know the whole Green Wave Sports Network.
Yeah.
That I know you've been a part of as well. You know, literally thousands of people watch particularly high-profile games. Like I'm willing to bet more than 1,000 people will watch the Seton Hall game tomorrow. And you know, listening to the color commentary of people like Ben DeVello who've been involved from the beginning, or new people coming in, things they probably never thought they could do. But somebody had the interest, we were able to make it happen, and it just makes your experience that much richer.
Definitely. So, how do you think the teachers and staff have helped shape this year's success?
Well, I think, you know, what makes a school what it is really two groups of people. It's your staff, and that's not just the faculty, but obviously the faculty is a critical part of that, as well as your students. And, you know, think about your own teachers. You know, these are people who are really smart, really dedicated, who know you as a person, have gotten to know you as a person, are maybe some of your coaches as well, so they know you in different contexts. And I've worked in several other schools before I came here, and I can honestly say this is the most talented faculty I've ever worked with. And their work ethic and commitment to you and to the school's mission is really strong. So when people come to school every day, even if the weather's not great like today, or it's, you know, late December and it's dark, people bring that fire, that zeal. And St. Benedict talks about the good zeal of monks and how we should be on fire with that response to God's call. And I think our teachers, men and women, and the staff who are not faculty, all the people who are a part of us have that good zeal in their own particular way. And I think that's what makes, again, one of the key ingredients to the secret sauce.
Yeah. Another thing I would add about the secret sauce here at Delbarton is the retreats. So, you know, a lot of Catholic schools have them, but I can't speak for other Catholic schools, but at least here at Delbarton, like, especially the junior retreat this year that I got to go on, it was like a life-changing experience to me, and that so far has been I would say the highlight of my year personally.
That's excellent. I just came back last night from day 3 of the Kairos retreat. My part in the retreat is really Wednesday and Thursday, so I will be celebrating the closing mass with them like I did with your group, and it's fascinating. I go on all the Kairos retreats, and it's a lot of time, and you know it's difficult for teachers and students to break away. But the change in the group and the change in people from Tuesday night to Friday, and the chance to really learn about your brothers in ways you never thought about before. What better way for God to enter into people's lives? And you know, to me, that is time very well spent. And I've heard from so many people, you know, parents as well as students, that the retreat may not only have been the highlight of their junior year, but like one of their top 3 experiences while they were at Delbarton. Do you think you'll be applying for the Be a Leader next year?
I think so. I mean, it was like an unreal experience. Like, I will never forget any of the stuff we did there. So
awesome. So I think, you know, that we have more people apply to be leaders than we have spots. So I think that's a good indicator that the retreat is powerful. So were there any student-led initiatives or events this year that caught your attention? That's a good question. Well, I will. One thing, it's a small thing, but I think it says a lot about who we are, and it's from the Hockey State Championship. So I was in Florida doing our alumni thing, so I missed the championship game, which I regret very much. Although we sent CBA packing, which was a great finish. But then I got an email from a man who works on the cleaning crew at the Prudential Center. And he told me about how the seniors had brought their own trash bags and kind of rallied everybody, and we cleaned up our own section. And the man, I don't remember his exact position at the Prudential Center, but he said, look, we have our own procedure to do this. I have never seen guests do that themselves. Like, he was so blown away that we would be good guests like that. And I was just so proud to read about that, like, without having to be told or kind of arm twisted or anything. The seniors took the lead, the underclassmen were good followers, and they did something really good. Just spontaneous.
Yeah.
So that alone, even though it's not like a program or anything, that said to me, wow, we must be onto something here.
Yeah, I mean, I think that just says a lot about the spirit and energy of like the student body this year. So another thing I wanted to kind of talk about was, so we're renovating the science wing currently.
Yes.
So could you talk about what do you think like that'll change for in the future?
Sure. So the science building, looks very new, but it actually was built like 31 years ago. So buildings obviously over time need a little refresh. And the thing that really triggered the renovation that we're doing is the heating and air conditioning system was basically worn out, so we had to replace it. And so that gave us the opportunity to kind of rethink, how are we teaching science today, and how is that reflected in what the facilities look like, and what changes do we have to make in the facilities to support how we want to teach science now. So right now, as you know, on the first and second floor where the classrooms and labs are, there are 2 classrooms that share a laboratory. And at first glance, that looks like it's just fine. But the problem is that if you have 2 teachers, one on either side, who each want to do a lab at the same time, well, obviously that can't happen. So what we want to do is encourage kids to not just learn about science, but to do science, to do research, to do experiments. The Research and Science Club does amazing things, but they need facilities to do that, not be stuck in a corner in a classroom or a lab in between classes. So what we're going to do is, the first phase of it, we're doing a lot of the things people won't see. We're also taking the Gregory room and turning it into 2 regular classrooms, so using that space a little better. But then this time next year, the whole building will be closed, the top, first and second floor. And we're going to demolish those little offices along the hallway. So we're going to widen each room so that each room will have a classroom area in the front and its own lab in the back. So every science teacher will have his or her own lab space.
Oh, wow.
So we're going to double the amount of laboratory space. We're going to have a dedicated room for middle school science, which we never had before. So all of those opportunities are going to be there with brand new equipment. One of the things that we're going to get, actually we're going to get 2 of them. They're these special anatomy tables. They're about a little bit bigger than this couch. And what they do is they enable you to examine and dissect a human cadaver digitally. Oh, wow. You can look at skeletons, you can look at muscles. I actually was at a school not long ago and saw one. And they're very expensive, but they will completely transform the way that we teach human anatomy and the whole dissection process. Like, there's no smelly chemicals, but you can do really extraordinary things. You can have it stand upright, you can have it flat as a table. And so that's going to be a new feature in the labs when we move back in the summer of 26.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I think that's really important. Like the other day at the same assembly I was just talking about, I forget who it was, but someone at Delbarton, a student, is like researching and making real progress on like a cure for Alzheimer's.
Yes.
Which is unreal.
So, and right now he's doing it kind of in the corner of a lab because there's not enough space. He'll have more than enough space to be able to do that.
Okay, so anything else you think we should?
So the only other thing, and people have kind of heard about it, it's not a secret, but we have a facilities plan that's kind of guiding us over the next several years, really until 2030, which sounds like it's far away, but it's really not.
Not really,
And so the most important and the largest project on that list is we need to replace the gym. So the old gym is 78 years old. The new gym is 41 years old. And so what we want to do is, in the process of providing new gymnasium facilities, we want to create a larger facility we call the Student Life Center. What that's going to include are 2 new gyms, a parking garage, so the gyms will be on top of the senior parking lot. And then where the current gyms are, we're going to tear them down and build a pool, squash courts, a new cafeteria, and a bowling center.
Oh, wow.
So this is by far the largest project we've ever done. It's 122,000 square feet. The project budget's about $60 million. So we've raised a little over a third. We just got a significant gift for it. So I'm having individual conversations with people. And my hope is that in the spring of 27, so 2 years from now, we would be under construction. And that would be, there would be no school in the area.
Yeah, that's unreal.
So that would be the last building we would build. That would build out the campus. There is a small project that we'll probably do before that. We desperately need storage space behind the theater for scenery and props and for like a workshop.
Yeah.
So we're going to do a small addition off the back of the theater to give them the space they need to store things and to do the work that they do to build sets and store props.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds amazing. So
yes, it's pretty exciting. It's going to be a lot of work. But it's going to be a true game changer for us.
Definitely. Okay.
I think the field house was a lot. Wait till you see this.
Yeah. Huge thanks to Father Michael for joining us today. I had a great time having this opportunity to speak to him, and he's made a profound impact on all the students here. And thank you for listening to Green Wave Radio. God bless. All right. Thank you, Father Michael.
Thanks.
Really appreciate it.
That was excellent. Well done.
Thank you.